Yo, what is going on, you mud munchin Metacham? Today we're going to attempt to run a little bit hot with some Tempozar. Before we get into the list, want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Channel Fireball. Check them out. Link in the description, channelfireball.com. The number one spot for premier competitive Pokemon content. And they sell cards over there too. So if you need some cards, check them out. Use code AzulGG. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Tempos today, like I said, and not too much different from the last list I posted. The way this deck works is we try and open up with Cramorant or Reshiram and just kind of do damage and put damage out there, just attack. And then we do have the Blacephalon to kind of take those big knockouts against like VMAX Pokemon or even like a Mewtwo and a Pikachu, stuff like that. But otherwise, we're using Reshiram or Cramorant early to either like setup KOs or just like double blaze knockout, whatever their active might be, and then flare strike from there. Just try and like put out a lot of pressure early on, and then you kind of like piece together the rest of your prize cards from there. Whatever seems the most optimal to be able for you to be able to close out games is kind of the game plan. We're not quite fully reliant on the Fireball Circus like a straightforward Blounce deck. A lot more options as far as attackers go and attacking turn to turn. But it does kind of sometimes operate similar to like how a Blounce deck would work out. Besides that, you got the Jirachis, the Bat, double Dedenne, Oricorio, and Mewtwo for the supporting cast here. There's a Marshadow to help keep Swells out of play. And then we have Cherish Balls in here now. I went up to 3 Cherish Ball. I cut all the comms. The comms felt super clunky and just not super useful and like just pretty bad overall. I didn't like the comms at all. I never really liked Pokémon if I can avoid playing it in a deck. Sometimes you kind of just have to play because it's just kind of the best Pokemon search card that you could play. So I cut the comms up to the Cherish Ball count to 3 because Reshiram usually is our go-to attacker off the start. Also, Cherish Ball for Dedenne is great. Cherish Ball for Oricorio. So a lot of great targets for the Cherish Ball. I upped the Pokégear count by 1 as well. One of the comms went to a Pokégear because fighting Welder is just super important for this deck. So getting that turn 1 aggressive start, going second, being able to use Data Change to like dig through our deck to find the pieces we need to attack, and then more gears in here to help us find that Welder, which we need to attack on our first turn. Feels a little bit better than the comms. So yeah, comms are gone. A little bit more of aggressive options in those cards, and then the rest is still pretty much the same. 4 Switch, 4 Nets, of course, 4 Fire Crystal, 13 Fire, 4 Welder, 1 Boss, 4 Hearth, 4 Quick Ball. So we still have plenty of outs to our other Pokemon that we would need throughout the game. And then of course there's the Zigzagoon that really helps us with our math. You know, we can Flare Strike a Pikachu for 230, Goonping knocks it out. You can Cramorant snipe a Eldegoss or a Crobat or whatever, and then Goonping plus Net will get the KO there. So a lot of cool things we can do with the Goon, and also sometimes it comes in clutch with the Fireball Circus if we're trying to KO something like, let's say, Mewtwo tag team. We can do 250 Goonping, Net, Goonping, and that's a knockout. So yeah, Goon can be super helpful to help clean up numbers. It's also searchable by Quick Ball, which is really nice, so it can help find the damage to a Quick Ball. And yeah, that's the list, guys. Let's go ahead and let's play some games with Tempozar. All right, getting into our first one here, we have the unfortunate Cramorant start. The rest of the hand, all right. Yeah, it'll really depend on what our opponent's playing with what we want to go for with an attack on our next turn. Pikachu VMAX is what we're up against here. All right, Pikachu VMAX. Mulligan card. It is a Baby Blown. Baby Blown would be good at getting a 1-hit KO. There's a Welder. So just Spit Shot Snipe. Shot Snipe here would be pretty good on the whatever they put energy on, basically. Whatever they're trying to set up. So let's get some fire out of the deck. I'm gonna bench the Blown as well. I'm just gonna attach active and pass. Yeah, just Spit Shot Snipe I think is just kind of fine. Give up the Cramorant's 2 prize cards, and then we'll kind of just work it from there. We can also Spit Shot Snipe the Crobat, but I'm not feeling super confident that the Blind will be able to take a 1-hit KO on the Pikachu VMAX on the following turn. So Spit Shot Snipe probably... Oh, there's the Bolton, so that makes things a little bit more awkward. I could Welder to the Baby Blound now and maybe go for the KO on the Bolton. That feels probably a little bit better. Don't need a whole ton to get that knockout, to be honest. It makes me wish I hadn't attached to the Cramorant because I'd rather switch the Cramorant out, but KO on Bolton seems better. We could go for that Spit Shot on the Pikachu V, though. Still could go for that. Especially if that's where their energy end up. Also, just Double Blaze would be really good here. But they could knock out my Reshiram with... But then we could try and respond with a Blacephalon. I kind of like that, to be honest. So let's go with that. I'm going to give up this Scoop Up Net, grab the Reshizard. Go for the Double Blaze. We're gonna go for the Double Blaze here. It can get KO'd by the Pikachu VMAX, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Hearth away a Hearth. Grab 2 more fire. How many fire did we have? 1 fire, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we priced 3 fire. All right, Double Blaze. It's possible they whiff the knockout. They could like knock at the VMAX, or something like that. Uh-oh. That's not a lot of outs to being able to attack next turn. That's what I'm doing. We might be beak catching next turn. Yeah, it does 270, right? Yeah, it does 270 damage. And so that KOs our Reshizard. I think we're going to be beak catching next turn, though, which is not what we want to be doing. Definitely don't want to be beak catching. We got 5 in hand. So we could beak catch for a Baby Blound and a Welder. There's a Marnie. Okay, so our hand gets reset here. It doesn't mean we're not going to be beak catching, but yeah, our hand does get reset. And we can actually Cramorant snipe the Voltorb now if we can find a Welder, which we can guarantee here. And they have to discard all their energy, so they actually can't attack again next turn. So we can go Mewtwo. Let's see what our top deck is. We might not want a Hearth. We might want a Hearth. Yeah, we can go Mewtwo, put the Welder on top, Pokégear into the Welder, and then just snipe the Voltorb for the turn. That'd be fine. I do want to Oricorio this turn, so I'm going to go Mewtwo, Welder on top, Pokégear into Welder, and then we'll use, Pokégear into Welder. We will use a Fire Crystal before I don't have anything I want to Hearth, and I don't even want to Hearth a Fire here, I don't think. I want to, like, run out of Fire energy and not be able to just, like, take the big 1-hit KO with the Blound or something like that. Quick Ball, the Reshizard. Could grab a Jirachi here, but I think I am just going to grab actually a Cherish Ball for the Oricorio here, actually. So maybe I should Quick Ball. Should have saved the Quick Ball, to be honest. Maybe Quick Ball for a Jirachi, or Quick Ball for the Cram, because we can just go Cram to maybe close this game out. All right, I like that. Let's go get that Oricorio that I should have gotten with the Cherish Ball first and then use Oricorio, then just probably kept the Quick Ball, to be honest. But already in this deep, keep this around. I want to keep the whole hand, kind of, to be honest. Let's go bench, because what we can do is we can Cramorant snipe the Voltorb and then double Cram snipe the Pikachu. So I'm going to go bench this attach here. And then could thin out the deck again, to be honest, because this would work out if I'm just planning to Spit Shot for the rest of the game. This works out kind of fine. Then Spit Shot the Voltorb. Go down to 3 prize cards. They can't attack this turn because we just KO'd the Voltorb. So that means next turn I can go Welder to this Cramorant, attach to this Cramorant, and then Spit Shot 120, and then next turn attach Spit Shot 120. I don't even need to use Welder on the following turn, so we just need that energy, which is a lot easier to find than Welder. Welder can be not difficult to find, but definitely not as easy to find as a Fire energy. So it will be like in basically have game set up here, or very close. We're very close to just having game set up here. Yeah, very close, very close. Our opponent does not have a ton of options left. Here comes a comp to get rid of the Electrode. And yeah, I guess they could play E-Switch, and they actually could attack with Pikachu VMAX this turn. If they do that, then we have to go for the Baby Blound 1-hit KO. So we still have a good option no matter what. Here comes that Dance of the Ancients to split the energy. But yeah, I think that's definitely going to be my game plan. Just try and go snipe this thing twice. And if that doesn't... No, that should work, though. That should be more than efficient game plan. There's a Stamp, though. All right, Stamp down to 3. Got the Welder off the 3. Love to see it. There's a Scoop Up Net and a Switch. I really don't want to... I just want to Hearth away the... Maybe the... We could also switch into this Cramorant attack with this Cramorant. So I'm going to get rid of the Jirachi here. Get 2. Yeah, we can just switch into this Cramorant and attack with this one. So I guess I have to Welder to this Cramorant here. I couldn't attach return anyways, because I have to attach to the other Cramorant. What was I thinking? Fire Crystal. Grab 3. Maybe I didn't even need to use this Fire Crystal here. Maybe that's like a little bit... I have 2 extra Fire energy in my deck, which doesn't feel great. Scoop Up Net the Mewtwo. Mewtwo, put a Welder on top. For some reason, I thought Spit Shot was like costing like 2 energy. A Spit Shot, Pikachu VMAX, it's set up, 2-hit KO. And then we'll top deck Welder, or if they Marnie us, we'll Marnie into Welder. I guess the reset stamp would be the only thing. Yeah, I think I probably shouldn't have played the Fire Crystal. Because now if they stamp me again, which they could have, then these 2 energy... I have +2 energy in my deck, which is +2 cards that is not Welder, which doesn't feel very good to have kind of have hanging about in the deck. So should have probably gone with no Fire Crystal, just not attached return. I think that would have been a little bit better because there's plenty of energy left in the deck for Hearth, I think. Right, we only have 5 in the discard pile, so there's plenty of energy to pull out of the deck with Hearth. So making sure we draw into the Welder is really the most important thing with this situation. All right, there's the Marnie, but like I said, we do have a Welder on top, so we'll draw into it. So Reset Stamp still saves our opponent here, and I'm sure they play 2. When you're doing stuff like popping electrodes and stuff like that, you wanna be playing like a decent amount of Reset Stamp when you're giving your opponent so many prize cards. Here comes the Pikachu. Do they have the Reset Stamp? It looks like the answer is no, so we'll clean this one up as we take out our opponent's Pikachu VMAX here. Didn't even use the Blacephalon. That's what's so cool about this deck, is it's like not really a Blacephalon deck. There is Blacephalon in the deck, but not the only way to win games. Didn't use it. Just Reshiram into Cram cleans this one up as we take out this Pikachu VMAX. All right, getting into another one. We open the Reshiram, and we are going first. Opponent did win the coin flip. But opening hand's fine. We can actually like switch into Jirachi here and start digging for that Hearth. Looks like we're up against a Centiskorch deck. This matchup is usually fine. It's not like bad or good. It just feels neutral. Cherish Ball's in the hand. Cramorant early to snipe Centiskorch is really good. So we might go for that. We really want to find a Hearth, but I don't want to give my opponent Hearth. So this is where it kind of becomes weird. But I feel like the Hearth is almost more important for us to have in play. There's a lot of fire energy. We don't find a Hearth, so we can go for one next turn. I'm just going to go attach pass here, I think. Yeah, we'll look for a Hearth on our next turn to try and maybe go Cramorant, snipe our opponent's first Centiskorch, and then kind of go from there. Kind of where the game gets interesting. But yeah, we kind of have to go for like Cramorant next turn, or we want to go for Cramorant next turn. Snipe, go from there. We could also like Quick Ball, Welder, Quick Ball, Boss's Orders, Cherish Ball for Dedenne, Cherish Ball for the second Reshiram to thin that out of the deck, and then Mewtwo off the Quick Ball, Cramorant off the Quick Ball, put the Welder back on top, and then just Dedenne change to draw a bunch of cards and really set up the play. There's a big charm on the Centiskorch, and we saw heat energy. There it is in the mulligan. So these Centiskorch can get really tanky, actually. That's going to be annoying to deal with. So this is already at the 350, but 120 or 160, my bad. 160 plus Flare Strike is 350. So that'll KO. So we're going to Cramorant snipe the Centiskorch this turn for sure. I think we're going to do that play I mentioned just because it kind of feels best. The Mewtwo's in there, the Cramorant's in there. So I think we're just going to go for that play that I just talked about. Reshiram is not here, so I don't really want to put Oricorio in play unless I need it, so we're not going to grab that yet. Quick Ball away Welder. We have to Quick Ball that away. Grab the Mewtwo to put it back on top. Quick Ball again, the Boss to grab the Cramorant. And I probably will bench the Marshadow here to go ahead and bump a Hearth if we do find one and have to play it. Yeah, I won't get stuck in play for long, so I'm not too worried about that. And then yeah, Dedenne change. All right, we're just going to plan on sniping this with Welder. We need... Oh, no. Not going as planned. All right, now we need to get a Hearth. There's a Hearth. That was feeling really sketchy. We still need to find a switch card. We have all of our switch cards left though, I believe, except for one. Hearth away the Jirachi. Get to fire. We could get Crobat if we have to off these Quick Balls. I don't want to, so please give me a switch card. Nope. So we have to go for that Crobat. So Quick Ball away Jirachi. Fail. Or grab Crobat. Sure. Play the gear. Fail. And then Quick Ball this fire. And then fail this as well. Marshadow the stadium. This means our opponent doesn't get access to our Hearth, which is also something we want to do. And then get Crobat. Some cards. Got a switch card. Nice. Pick up the Jirachi. And then yeah, we could Cramorant snipe Dedenne here. I think it's definitely like we need to get through this Centiskorch. We can't leave it here the whole game. And it's really hard for us to get that one-hit KO on that. So I think it's best to just go ahead and snipe it. I mean, the Baby Brown can get the one-hit KO, but now that we're out of 4 Quick Ball already, I didn't even realize that. It's going to be hard to actually knock this thing out with a one-hit KO. And getting all that energy can also be really difficult as well. So I think it's just best to go about it this way. Kind of like makes it easiest for us. And then we can follow up with that Flare Strike. Like I said, we get the 2-hit KO. That is at that 350. Yeah, but... oh, we're doing way more than I thought. Why did I count that as 350? Flare Strike. Oh, because I thought for some reason I said Spit Shot was 120, which is just not true. We do 390. They're at 370 now with this Heat Energy. They're digging with the Dedenne. But yeah, we easily KO this Centiskorch with the Flare Strike on the next turn, and then we just have to piece together our last couple prize cards here. Should be able to pretty easily figure out. All right, I'm not gonna send up Jirachi here. I'm just gonna send up the Reshizard. Yeah, my math was off on that. I'm just gonna send up the Reshizard here. Go with this. Another Fire Crystal. I don't want to Hearth anything. I also just don't want to put Hearth in play. I think I'm just gonna Welder here for the Flare Strike. Welder, 2, 3, attach, and yeah, Flare. We could Mewtwo. Even a Boss's Orders on top would be really good, to be honest, because the Reshizard's gonna live for a turn, like guaranteed. They can't KO this, so I'm actually gonna put a Boss on top because I want to make sure I can potentially chase something that I like, something a little bit better than just hitting whatever their active might be. Yeah, so Flare Strike cleans this up. Boss on top for next turn because I won't need a Welder next turn because Reshizard is just gonna survive. So we got like a switch combo. We could, like, if they don't evolve this, but they put energy on, we could Boss Flare Strike it and then try and use Cramorant to close out the game. I mean, if they hit us with a Baby Volk this turn, we could just Outrage and then set up Cramorant to be able to close out the game on like a Dedenne or something. So we have quite a few options here. They are also down both their reset stamps, so they can't disrupt our hand. They might play Marnie, but it's pretty unlikely. And if they Marnie, that means they don't Welder for the turn. And yeah, us holding back on these Hearths. Look at, they're only Weldering for like 1 here, which is super good for us. So yeah, holding back on the Hearths and doing work for sure. Which yeah, makes it worth it sometimes. Sometimes it's just worth it to hold back on the Hearth. Okay, so they're going in with the Centiskorch VMAX here. They're not gonna hit us very hard, so I don't have to Boss. We're just gonna have to try and 2-hit KO the Centiskorch VMAX. I could Double Blaze for 200, but I could also just go switch, Stellar Wish switch, and then go for the Flare Strike again, which I think I like a little bit more. But also lets me dig into the deck a little bit deeper with this, and I could maybe get a Welder. Perfect. And I can actually Welder to the Cramorant here, and then that sets up the Cram to be able to close out the game on this Centiskorch on the following turn. And I wouldn't hate getting Oricorio in play, like Scoop Up Net the Jirachi, or maybe switch Scoop Up Net the Mewtwo, to be honest. Cram is set up. 1, 2, 3. Fully set up the Cram. Did not get that Scoop Up Net Oricorio play, but that's fine. We're just going to go with that Flare Strike. Yeah, our opponent cannot win next turn. They got 4 prize cards. We can maybe heal this Centiskorch, which would be a little bit scary, but now we do have the Blacephalon in the hand, so we could get off a big Fireball Circus. We already got 2 crystals in the hand. We have a Pokégear as well. There's only 1 Welder left, but if we get like a Scoop Up Net to reset the Mewtwo, it should be an easy Welder. So we're looking pretty good here against the Centiskorch to be able to close out the game on the next turn. Take a look. I think I'm scared of. There's the Malolana. Okay, that is something right there. So the Baby Blonde might be our go-to on the next turn. They still have 110 on it. We won't need like a full. We can even Goon Ping if we can clear up our bench a little bit. All right, so they go down to, yeah, 210 left. So we need to go 4 energy, or like I said, oh, they had the fire energy. So I need, let's check. We need 5 energy. Welder 5 energy. So it's 8 energy total. Send up the Jirachi. See what we draw. We draw the Welder. All right, so that's a good draw. So we have 8 energy. We should have 8 energy here, so we just need a switch card. Go ahead and Hearth away this Pokégear because it can't get us anything. We have 8 energy in hand, right? Unless I'm miscounting here, but I see 8. So Blound goes down. Welder to the Blound. Draw a bunch of energy and the switch card, and we probably would have got the switch card anyways. We had 2 switch cards left, and now there's 7 cards in our deck, so it'd have to be the last 2 cards in the deck. Oh, we only had +2 energy in there. I didn't even realize that. So we had to draw into an energy there as well. But I could have switched into Cramorant, retreated Cramorant as well. That would have also worked. But yeah, close it out with the Blound. The Malolana almost getting us there, but not quite. And another dub with the Tempozard. Feeling pretty good today. Running all right. That's going to do it for the games, guys. I will see you tomorrow.